Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I am Lindsay Gasper, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Mesa, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a really fun card for you today. It is a beautiful fun fold. I had a lot of fun making it. I will apologize in advance. The measurements are a little tricky, but I am going to walk you through it piece by piece, and I will have all of the measurements in my video description below. So I will tell you right up front, they are working in 16ths, and it is a little bit, don't find it intimidating actually. I'm going to show you what it should look like, and I'm also going to tell you that today I took some time and I did try and work this same template down in, or work it up, I guess, into eighths, and it just didn't work. I will show you the difference, and you can kind of tell me what you think in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I know which direction it's going to go. But I used 2 different stamp sets and then the coordinating die set. So I used the Happiness Abounds and the coordinating die set. It also has a coordinating DSP, which is absolutely beautiful. If you don't have this suite, I think that Stampin' Up! Completely outdid themselves this time, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to go ahead. I will say that I'm going to do a little bit of on-screen cutting, not too much, and a little bit of gluing, not too much. And then I will show you how to use the cut and emboss machine for my newer crafters out there. So thank you so much for coming and crafting with me. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. If you do not have a demonstrator and you want a catalog, send me an email and I'd be happy to get one over to you. I will also point out that I am using my new lighting today, so bear with me while I'm figuring some things out. I do know that I have some reflections off of my glasses that we're still working out. I had some recessed lighting installed over the weekend, and then I also have 2 more lights so that my face is nice and even for you guys when you see me. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip my camera and we're going to get started. All right, so that looks pretty good right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and rock and roll. You guys, I hope you're ready for this. Check this out. It's really cool. There are a lot of pieces, but again, don't be intimidated. It will be okay. I promise. It's, you know, just for comparative purposes so that you aren't, you know, huffing under your breath at me for the 16th measurements. I'm going to show you the other one that I did. So this is retired DSP, so don't anyone fall in love with it, please. But just to show you an example, so you kind of see the difference, not basically, the difference is the borders here. You see? You see how that's much different? So, you know, I tried. I tried, and I'm sorry I couldn't work it down for you. So you're going to have to kind of, if you want it to look this way, you're going to have to kind of bear with me. All right, we're going to get going. Okay, so the base of the card here, I'm going to show this to you on our paper trimmer. It is going to be 9.5 by 4.25. So I'm just going to go to my 4.25, and it's really helpful if you really butt that paper up to this margin, this end here. That way it really helps you cut nice and straight. And then really kind of take some time and look and make sure when you're doing these long cuts that you're lined up all the way at the end. And I'm going to take my cutting blade, okay, and I'm going to just cut straight down, just like that. Then I'm going to tilt it horizontally, and then I'm going to cut it at 9.5. Okay, those are out of the equation. Now I'm going to move my scoring, and I'm going to do my scoring at 2 and 4. Okay, now that's the only 2 score lines for the card base. Now we have a few other pieces, a few other blocks, and honestly, the practice is exactly the same. I've already pre-cut and pre-scored them because I realized that you guys don't really enjoy watching me cut and score. So it is the same exact concept that I have just done for you with all of these pieces for my newer people out there, for my people that are not crafters. Same thing, cut it down first, then you score it. And again, I will have all of the measurements on my video description. So we are done. We're done with the trimmer. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here right away is I'm going to get the stamping out of the way so that it has enough time to dry while we are putting together the rest of the parts and pieces here. This is a photopolymer set, so you know what? I actually do need something here. I need my little Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, and I'm stamping in Gorgeous Grape. And I'm just going to stamp just like that. I'm going to hold it just a few seconds so that it gives the paper enough time to collect that ink. That looks great. Now I'm going to set this aside just so that it has time. But eventually what we're going to do here is we're going to die cut it, and it's going to look like this. And then I do have another circle to go with it. And I do have all my little parts and pieces cut out for you. I did stamp them with my Stampin' blends, which I will go through when I'm a little bit closer to assembling it. So again, just as a reminder, it's going to look like this. I do have to mention that I did find this template on Frenchie's YouTube channel. She is absolutely brilliant. I did change around the color design, but the pattern is hers. All right, so we're gonna get started. This is the base, okay, and we're gonna fold it just like a Z. So valley, mountain, but we're not gonna do that quite yet. I also have a back panel that I'm going to adhere right away because I learned on my first one, it is kind of difficult to adhere when you already have all of these pieces on here. It can just be kind of a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead. I am using liquid glue because I am using such thin borders. And when you have the liquid glue, it does give you enough time to wiggle around if you are just a little hair off here or there. All right. So again, that's my back of my card. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over. Now, again, these measurements, they're all on my blog. So not my blog, my YouTube description. So I'm not going to trouble you with them here on the video because you can just print them out, screenshot them, and then follow along with me. So you're just going to go ahead and I know you guys don't like really long videos, or so I have learned from my analytics. So I'm trying to keep this kind of complicated card to a minimum. And these colors that so this is the designer series paper of the Hues of Happiness set. And the paper that I have chosen is Gorgeous Grape and Fresh Freesia. And they are color buddies. And basically color buddies in a nutshell is the same shade. It's just a little bit lighter or a little bit darker one way or the other. And that's why they look pleasing to the eye. And you kind of notice I am getting it kind of goopy, and that's for good reason, because I have, you know, I have really thin borders, but it really, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw I know you guys saw the one I showed you. So. I don't know if anybody is planning on buying the new suite that came out, but I have got another card coming up with that one later this week. Actually, probably early next week now that I think of it. Fitting florets. It's really gorgeous. Now this paper, it is directional a little bit, but because they're floral arrangements, I just kind of went with it. You could essentially, you could cut this whole piece, the designer series paper, into one block and then cut them accordingly so that you'd have one flowing design. You can certainly do that. I don't know that it necessarily takes away from this card in this instance. I will say that I was much more careful with how I cut these pieces, and you'll see why when I put them together. Okay, now this is pretty much all the same practice, but I'm going to just glue these down so that we have all of our ducks in a row before we start taping things. Now this is going to go, all these are going to go the same way. There's a little 1/2 inch here, and it's going to go here in this second little box, if you will. And give it a nice little press so that it's good and stuck. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing, and I'm going to try to mop up some of this glue here. Usually I use my tweezers, but sometimes my fingers work just as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go here. Now this one's a little bit tricky because we have 2 score lines over here, and you can kind of see here what we've done. So it always goes in the second, although really this only fits in one spot. Just got to make sure you put it on the right direction. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to burnish all these edges. And I will also tell you that to make this easier, we're going to glue here. We're going to glue here. And then we're going to glue here. You kind of see what I've done here. It's nice. It's easy to make a nice mark for yourself if you're putting this together yourself, because then it just reminds you where to go. All right. So now we're going to burnish these edges. So I'm going to go in and then out. And we're going to just press here, here. Okay. Okay. So you can see how we're building this, right? Okay. So this end, this is my glue end for one of the sides. So we're going to burnish all of these in so we have nice crisp folds. Don't skip this part, even though I know it's tempting. And I'm going to use my nice strong adhesive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put 2 strips here and 1 here.
Okay, now I'm gonna make sure that it's right the direction I want it to go. And I folded this over. How you do it. Ready? Okay, now we're just gonna flip this over. Okay, like so. And then we're just gonna just like that. Okay. See, we're starting to come together. Okay. Same thing. Just make sure that we're putting our tape on the right side. Okay. And we're going to hold it out. Just like so. Now we're going to like that. And then fold it back under. Oh, we're going to straighten this out just a bit. Sorry about that. We weren't quite straight there. And you know that happens. Okay. Now we're good. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to burnish all of our edges. All of our folds. Give us some nice, good folds. Okay. Same practice. Okay. We're going to down here, under. Now we're going to apply some more tape here and make sure we don't. So then, goodness, we are just having trouble today with the sticking. All right. And then you have it. See? Okay. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. We're going to do the front piece. And the front piece, I've already pre-colored these pieces. So this, I used the Fresh Freesia blends, both light and dark, and I put So Saffron on the inside. You can kind of see there. And then I colored the rose in So Saffron. It's really light. It's a very, very light color. Looks like that. Fresh Freesia. And then the leaves I did in Granny Apple Green. And all of these are actually colors in the Designer Series paper. That's how I chose them. So I actually did just a little bit more detail on here where I added just a little line just to give it a little bit of shading. And I did the same thing actually on here on my sample. It's really up to you how much detail you want to do. All right. I'm going to do a little die cutting here. Let's see if I can show this a little better. Okay, so this is a great machine. I really am happy with it. Tells you this is all of your sandwiches, all of your instructions. So this is the bottom layer here, and then I need my shim and then my clear plate. And because this is just a regular ordinary die, I don't need anything else. And then I'm gonna stick it with a little post-it, a little postie, because I don't want it to move. And then I'm just gonna roll it through. Okay. Then take this off. That's it. So these are the stitched So Sweet. These are the stitched So Sweetly dies, I want to say. I'll link it in the video description. All right, now I'm going to go back to my regular adhesive. Notice before I was actually using my Seal Plus, and that's anytime you have a fun fold like this, when you have moving pieces like this, you need to use either tear and tape, liquid glue, or Seal Plus. Please do not use regular seal because it is just not strong enough. It is not meant. It is not meant for that, but it is great for what I'm doing right now. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of I'm using my grid lines. Okay. Now, I think that this probably some of my more experienced crafters have seen this technique before, but in case you haven't, I'm going to show you a little trick. Once I have this situated the way that I want it, I'm going to use press and seal. I'm going to use press and seal so that it's going to hold all of these pieces together for me. And I will show you what I mean by that as soon as I get this together. And we're going to stick this other piece right here. We're going to stick it over here this time. Okay. Now, literally press and seal. Okay. Use the sticky side. This is the sticky side. Now watch. I'm going to press this all together. Okay. Then I'm going to lift this all up. And boom. It's all together for me. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to check it just to make sure. Oh, my paper's all moving here. Just to make sure that this is really where I want this and how big I want it. And this is going to work. I just have to be really careful. I just have to be really careful with the placement of it. But this is absolutely going to work. But I'm going to make sure that my adhesive is only on this panel right here, this front panel, and you'll see when I go to glue it down. But right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue dots and I'm just going to start sticking them on here. And maybe I will adhere this. No, I'm going to stick some of these. I'm going to stick some of these together before I do that even. These are glue dots. They're great. They're my favorite thing. And I'm just sticking this together here. Always move your paper, not your hands. So see kind of how I'm kind of turning this a little bit instead of wiggling my hands like so, because it's just easier. Then you can really kind of maneuver it a lot better. So I'm gonna kind of stick a little piece under here. Got that. This is my take your pick tool. If you don't have one, you need at least two. Again, I'll link it in the video description. Oh, that one didn't stick. That's okay. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna do, I think, just like one more under here. Okay. Now I'm just working with this. Okay, now I'm just working with this right here. I'm just going to start sticking my little glue dots just to kind of keep these in place. What do you guys think? I think this is just super pretty. You like my press and seal technique? I think it's great. I certainly didn't come up with it, so I can't take credit for it, but I did see somebody use it and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I honestly, I'm so sorry that I cannot tell you who I saw do it, but it was somebody that I watch pretty often. As just as another fellow demonstrator. So see how this is all together in one nice piece? That's easy, right? Okay. Now Now you just have to place it. And I really, it is a little bit big, but I like it. I think it's really dramatic. It's a little bit in a different position, but you just had, now we're just going to be careful. We're just going to be careful, and we're going to, with where we're placing this, and we're going to use this, extra strong adhesive again. So I know right away that I can really kind of only stick it right here, because you don't want to impede any of these folds. Now I'm of course going to bring in my little reinforcements, which are my glue dots. I'm just going to start sticking them under here, just so that just so that that little bit of tape isn't holding the whole, this whole element onto your card. And we're just gonna stick this under here like that. So you can see we don't have any glue under there, which is great, because we were really careful with where we put my adhesive. And I'm just kind of picking up here and there just to see if I need any other reinforcements. And I actually think that we're really good here. So I have my back done already. I'm probably just going to, just write. I'm going to try to figure out what to write on here. I have to write on it this way. So I would suggest that you stamp and then write your greeting, and then adhere this, put this card together if you're going to attempt this. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making this card. I think it's really pretty, and I think that you'll enjoy it. It is a little time consuming. And again, please don't worry. I have all of the measurements. I promise. I have all of the measurements in the video description below. Please reach out to me if you have questions. I tried my best to really break it down for you. But you can do it. I know you can. And it's whoever receives this card is going to be mind blown, because they're so beautiful. Even really avid crafters, they're going to be like, wow, this is gorgeous. I will mention that the sentiment, the good friends are forever, that is from this sweet, losing my words here, treasured kindness. It's really pretty. I haven't worked with it quite yet, but I loved that that phrase. So this card is from one of my very good friends, and I know that she's gonna appreciate it. So anyway, I just wanted to share a little card making with you. I hope that you have a lovely evening, and thank you again so much for joining me on my channel today. If you did really enjoy my project, just give me a little like and follow me if you can, and I will have all the links if you want everything to create this project. All of the links are going to be in the description below, and then you just have to press the add all, and then it will port you over to my online store and give me a sale if you can. That would be great, and I will see you next time.